Hi, I'm Anas and this is Engaging Science Activities with LabCamera. Today's main character is going to be this onion, and I'm going to have a really close look at it, and using LabCamera it's also possible to see its cells and of course to show it to you. So basically what I'm going to do is to prepare a sample which will be more like a cooking show with this onion, but anyway. So when I got the proper sample, then I will show you how to turn your camera into a microscope. So first question, how to make a proper sample? Well, I have to cut the onion as I only need a little piece of it. Actually just a little piece from the thin membrane which is between the thicker layers of the onion. And then I cut a tiny square from it and put it on a layer of glass. Then, for the better view, I will add 1 drop of food coloring and then fix it with Scotch tape. Alright then, finally I got the sample, and as for the technical background I will use this camera, which has manual focus, but anyway there is nothing special about it, and this time I'm going to use LabCamera's microscope function. Here it is. I have to put the sample on the camera and yeah, I have to set the focus. Okay, now it seems good. So I just take a photo and I can start measuring. I can measure lengths, angles and area, but as you can see these numbers are in pixels, which doesn't really say anything to me, so I should calibrate it. For this I have a little trick. I put this rotring insert right next to the sample and take a new pic. If I click on the calibration button, here it is, I can select the width of the insert, which is 0.5 millimeter. From this point, all measurements will be calculated according to this. So now let's get back to measuring. So first I zoom in, and in the corner there are some visible cells. So for example, what is the size of this cell? It says it's 0.19 millimeters. This one right below it is 0.22 millimeters. Now let's zoom in a little bit more and let's measure the area of one cell. So this one, for example, is 0.02 millimeters squares approximately. And these darker dots are called the nucleus, and if I zoom in a little bit more, I can measure the size of them as well. So this one here is, for example, 0.03 millimeters. It's also an interesting question how many cells are there on the surface of the onion. We can make an estimation if we select an area here and count the number of cells on it. It says this is 0.16 millimeters squares, and there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. Yeah, 10 cells approximately. According to our measurements, there are 10 cells on 0.16 millimeter squares. Let's assume that the shape of the onion is a sphere. This means that the surface area can be calculated with the following formula. Surface area equals 4 pi r squared. The diameter of the onion was 8 cm, so the radius is the half of it, so 4 cm. But we need this in millimeters, so that will be 40 millimeters. Now let's see the surface area of the onion. By substituting into the formula, we get 20,106 millimeter squares. And now how do we get the number of cells on it? I have to multiply these two numbers, so I get 1,256,624, which is approximately 1.3 million cells, which is pretty impressive. I wouldn't have guessed it. Alright then, enough of my onion. There are so many other wonderful things which would be worth observing with a microscope, and with LabCamera you can actually do that, so just go for it and turn your camera into a microscope. Thanks for watching my video. If you liked it, go on and subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on Facebook to get a weekly update on our science videos, and see you next time with a new experiment.